and good morning.
Hello there.
It is a Wednesday, September 14th. Thank you for joining us on a very welcoming set of the Good Morning Show and After GMS on this Wednesday, September 14th. I'm Tracy McCain here with Megan Malaris, Christian Morgan, Ed Matthews. We are all here.
We are all here, all celebrating another nice day in the weather department, really all week, and no sign of rain.
Yeah.
Best weather we have seen in months.
Oh, yeah.
Is it not? I don't remember the last time we saw a week without any rain.
Yeah, a dry
wild.
7 day.
A dry 7 day.
It's been so long we can't remember.
And it's not even just the rain, it's the lower humidity that's making me so happy.
It is. And really, I've said it this morning too, that's really your key to comfort. Because if you don't have the low humidity, you can't cool things off. And so therefore, you can't have a crisp and refreshing morning like we have, sitting at 59 degrees right now as you look out over downtown Winston-Salem. Just a beautiful morning all across the Piedmont. There's that dew point, 54 degrees now, and I would expect we see this to fall even a couple more degrees as we go throughout the day. We may even see upper 40s and low 50s for dew points before we're all said and done. And really this taste of fall weather is locking in place for a while now. The humidity will uptick just a tad as we go into the end of the week, but we're still in that comfortable range, dew points in the upper 50s and low 60s before another cold front comes through and actually brings us back down into the 50s. So the nice, dry, non-sticky air is going to be hanging around for a while. And I know it's got you thinking, okay, so when do we really settle into this cool weather? Well, it gets easier to do as we go throughout the next month or two. Now notice, average high temperature today is 81 degrees. In just a couple weeks at the beginning of October, average high temperature will be 76. And by the end of October, average high temperature drops all the way down into the mid 60s. So things really do fall fast as we go throughout the next month or so. High pressure in control of our weather will keep us high and dry, keep that fall air moving in from the north. And then as we go into the end of the week, another cold front will start to approach from the north and sag south into the triad. It's a dry cold front, so we're not expecting any rain. It just kind of reinforces the cooler weather that we have in place. High pressure will build back in behind that, and we continue on this stretch of nice weather for several more days. Today it's all sunshine all the time, upper 70s to near 80, low humidity for a comfy afternoon of weather. Now remember, I mentioned the lower the humidity, the easier it is for us to cool off. And also with the clear sky tonight, I think we'll have ample radiational cooling, so the ground will lose all of that heating that it gets during the day. So I expect us to cool back off into the mid and upper 50s overnight going into your Thursday. So it'll be another refreshing start tomorrow morning. Out of the tropics, well, things aren't too busy, but there's at least one area now worth watching. About 900 miles east of the Lesser Antilles Islands, has about a 50% chance of development over the next 5 days. Now, at this point, I don't think it's anything for us to be concerned over. It will continue its westward track and then eventually start to make that northwest turn. Now, just exactly when or where it decides to do that will mean a lot in terms of what it means for maybe the southern tip of Florida or maybe the U.S. or possibly even the Carolinas. But at this point, that's still way out there. No reason for us to be concerned. We'll just enjoy the nice, quiet weather that we have for the next 7 days. Cool, refreshing mornings, comfy afternoons with sunshine and no rain.
I love it.
I love it too.
I just
no
love
complaints.
it. Exactly, absolutely. I mean, we did take some heat this morning for wearing sweaters.
She turned
/
on the
coats.
heat this morning in her
In
car.
my car.
That's also
Tempted to
true.
do so in the house, but you know, my husband would absolutely have a fit.
Yeah, I
That's
can
not
understand that.
Right.
Not even a discussion until we hit October.
Well, let's just wait a few more days. Let's do that. All right, well, speaking of weather conditions, they may have worked to our advantage.
How so? Well, let's tell you. With fall weather
tell.
moving into the triad, there is no doubt pumpkin season is near, and it could be better than ever.
So we have to thank these ideal weather conditions, of course, even better. Because of that, you will have an easier time finding a pumpkin or for your Halloween jack-o'-lanterns, or maybe even your made-from-scratch pumpkin pies this year. Get this, nearly 4,000 acres of pumpkins will be harvested this year from our North Carolina mountains.
So you should start shopping for pumpkins around late September. They are in high demand this year. We want to know when you typically start looking for pumpkins or when you start your fall decorating. I asked you on my Facebook page. Marie said, I decorated for fall yesterday. Pumpkins, leaves, candles, etc. Elizabeth Colston said, love this time of year, putting out my pumpkins and leaves.
So Norma Phillips said, I think it's when folks want to decorate. She said, I like to decorate at least a month early to enjoy looking at it. Judy Walborough said, I decorated a few weeks ago. All right, so let us know here in the comments. We'll start the conversation here at the table, and then we would love to read what you have to say about your fall decorations. When do you start putting them up? So we actually live next to the Jones family. So the joke in our house is we keep up with the Joneses.
Keep up with the Joneses.
So
Yeah.
when did the Joneses start decorating?
Whenever they do it, and then we do it the day after.
Did they do it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So as soon as
you're good.
You're
I'm
fine.
good, exactly.
Tracy has the boxes
That
set
is
out,
funny.
ready to go. And as soon as the Jones hang the first pumpkin,
I'm like-
she is in there putting the stuff out.
And it's actually my son who's just like, oh, the Joneses
Mom,
did
let's
it.
go.
I was like, let's keep up.
I love it. So Aveline said she's already decorated for fall as of last weekend. Belinda already started. We love Halloween, she said. So I think there's a little bit of a difference between fall decorating and Halloween specific decorating. I usually start putting out the fall decor around now. So maybe I'll do that this weekend, especially because it's still going to be feeling like fall.
Yeah.
I'll get out the fall wreath and a couple pumpkins. But as far as the full on pumpkin picking, Halloween scary ghost decor, I usually wait until October 1st.
Which is not that far away. if you
No,
think
I know.
about
It's
it.
like a couple, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. And do you? I know you cook for fall, but do you decorate for
Oh,
fall?
I cook for every season. You know how I love to eat. I do. I have a wine cabinet, and I usually put a artificial flower for the season on that.
Okay.
I've still got, the spring and summer one now, bright colors and all that, but I want to get something that looks more like fall.
Yeah.
And something else that the weather team really enjoys, A&A Plants is the sponsor of our weather garden, and they'll bring out the pumpkins.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we go out there
And the
one
mums.
morning and it's like, wow, pumpkins everywhere. And they do a great job not only keeping the flowers looking great, but, decorating the garden for the season as well.
Yeah, they do a great job. It's the
Great pumpkin.
Yeah.
great pumpkin.
Yeah, so Christian Rhonda said there's a mum on her front steps. She said she's done. LOL. So I love mums, but honestly, I was worried it was still going to be too warm for them. We're going to still have some 80-degree days,
It's
right?
still it's still a tricky time of the year.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing when people want to start, their spring planning as we come out of winter and kind of go into the spring season. It's still very, very tricky because even though we do have this nice stretch of weather for a while, remember, it's very easy for us to have 90s in September.
Yeah.
Even a couple years ago, we had a heat wave in October.
Yeah,
now,
I
I'm not
remember.
saying that's going to happen this year, but it can happen. And we're not done with the warm days. Looks like, early next week we'll climb back into the low to mid 80s. Even if the humidity's not there, we're still going to have some warm days. So it's a little tricky still.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact year. It's just been a few years ago. We had an extended, kind of heat wave pattern, and we had low and mid 90s in October.
2019.
It was 2019.
2019 heat wave, yeah.
remember that.
So I hope that doesn't happen. Now that we've had this nice taste of fall, I'm ready for it to move on and continue to be very comfortable.
Yeah, I mean the overnight lows, the difference between those and then the daytime highs is still a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
we are in the 50s in some places overnight, and then we can get up to the 80s by the afternoon. That's a 30-degree difference.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that's still too much of a stretch for me to officially declare fall.
Yeah.
When the temperatures are right around 75 consistently, I'm like, all right.
And
Now we're feeling it.
technically, it's still not fall yet.
It's true.
Yeah.
Fall doesn't happen until next week.
That's true.
On the 22nd, if you're keeping
Yeah.
tabs on that.
I am.
Just in
Keeping
case,
close
you're
tabs.
counting.
Right.
Here's the other thing. We talked this morning, we were talking about pumpkins, putting out the decorations. We talked this morning about how our weather over the course of the early summer and now late summer being dry and then being really wet and then being not so hot and kind of all the back and forth has really kind of evened out to probably what will lend itself to being a pretty good pumpkin season. I think there will be ample supply of pumpkins. We have over 400 acres that pumpkins are grown in North Carolina too.
amazing.
So in conjunction with that, when you talk about these really cool nights, that's what really gets the leaves kick-started too. So I think in your higher elevations like Mount Mitchell, Grandfather Mountain, you'll probably see some leaves changing in the tip tops of the trees, as early as late next week, end of
Yeah.
September. So the cool mornings and the overnights really are what kickstarts that.
Oh, good. I love looking at them. I don't travel far to see them. I just, look outside. Whereas other people go to the mountains, but I do
Yeah.
love, leaf peeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, Triad's about a week behind though. Boone and Blowing
Yeah.
Rock usually.
Usually you
starting
see those highest peaks, again, the Mount Mitchells, the Grandfather Mountains, late September, early October. Then your more popular spots like Boone, Asheville, Blowing Rock, usually that second week of October. And then we kind of fall in, just depending on how warm we stay and how wet we are.
Yeah.
We usually fall somewhere in that late October, early November timeframe.
Right when you should.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Transitional period. All right, so real quick, we'll read some more comments and then we'll move to headlines. LeVar said, just going to let the family handle decorations this year. Debbie will start next week, putting out fall and Halloween decor. We heard from Melita, who said, start next week with fall. Don't do Halloween until October.
Well, lucky for you, well, not everybody can live next to the Jones family, but we do. And lucky for us, they keep us going.
Well, you let us know when the Joneses put up their fall decor. We'll fall in line.
Right.
All right, let's get to some morning headlines. We do have some serious topics to cover today. Greensboro police have arrested 2 people accused of shooting at an officer during a chase. The bullets did not hit the officer, but they did break a window on the cruiser. This all started on Church Street yesterday afternoon when an officer responded to a robbery call. Police say 2 suspects, a man and woman, fired several shots toward the cruiser. GPD says the officer did not fire back. Police chased the suspects to 16th Street, just off of Summit Avenue, not far from our station. Officers then arrested the suspects and confiscated multiple guns. No one was hurt. Another security measure is going in place at Guilford County Schools sporting events. Starting a week from Friday, only clear bags will be allowed at games. Small purses are okay, but will be inspected. Just last week, GCS set up walk-through body scanners at entrances of home football games. They are the same portable ones used at high schools. The scanners will be used for the rest of the football season. The change comes days after fights at Dudley High School's game, which had to cancel at halftime. But GCS said these protocols were going to go in place despite what happened at Dudley.
The city of Winston-Salem wants more information before signing off on flock safety cameras. The Winston-Salem Public Works Committee decided not to pass the idea onto the city council just yet, but they are considering a year-long pilot program. The cameras take pictures of license plates to help with Amber Alerts, stolen cars, and locating suspects. The cameras do not take photos of people's faces. Of course, we'll keep you updated when it goes to the city council for a final decision. Well, school districts across the state are restoring their arts programs. A new law passed by the State Board of Education has officially made arts education a graduation requirement.
WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller takes a look at what qualifies and why districts are doing this.
The Arts Council of Winston-Salem-Forsyth County is teaming up with the school district to offer opportunities in the arts. With this partnership, they are currently serving 31,000 kids in the school district. The school system has worked with the Arts Council for years to bring teaching artists and arts courses to schools. Statewide, all students now must take some type of arts education before graduating. Winston-Salem-Forsyth County Schools says they already require art as an elective for 6th graders. Looking at Guilford County Schools, they have a fine arts program for K through 12 students. They also have an Arts Integration Academy that's received $1 million in federal funding. Advocates say this new law is intended for smaller school districts that don't have as many offerings.
Arts have usually been present in a lot of school systems. It was not always a requirement for kids to participate in the arts. It was sort of looked at as an elective. And so now we're really excited that this year, starting with 6th grade, it's going to become a requirement for high school graduation.
Now, the state law requires students entering the 6th grade to complete an arts course sometime before reaching the end of their 12th grade year. Students who transfer to a North Carolina school in 9th grade or later are exempt from the requirement. Classes like music, dance, theater, and visual arts all count as credit. Winston-Salem-Forsyth County Schools says that they will begin to track this to make sure all students meet their graduation needs. And the U.S. Department of Education shows that schools that have music programs have a 20% higher graduation rate than schools that don't.
All righty, let's check that beautiful 7-day. It feels great out there and it's going to continue. You know, copy paste. We love it. We'll be up pretty close to 80 today, down into the mid and upper 50s tonight, low 80s tomorrow and Friday. And then that secondary front that we've been talking about this morning will drop through, drop us back a degree or two on Saturday, back into the low 80s on Sunday. Now we will warm likely into the mid 80s by Monday and Tuesday. And you say, uh-oh, the heat and the humidity is coming back. And it will be warmer, but it looks as though the air is going to stay rather dry for this time of year. So 84 on Monday and Tuesday will feel like 84 rather than 104. So that's
gonna be
good.
great.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect homecoming weather,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But of course, that doesn't happen because homecomings are like October. And, well, you never know.
Yeah.
You never
It
know.
could. It depends what kind of year it is.
Yep. All right, thanks so much for joining us. And after GMS had great conversations about the weather and pumpkins with you today and decorations, we'll see what we talk about tomorrow.
Let's do it. Get out there and get to it. Let's have a great day.
See you later.